What happened to the children of Henry VIII? Henry was desperate for a male heir to secure his dynasty. This even led him to marry 6 times. His quest for a son resulted in 4 surviving children, 3 legitimate heirs, and 1 acknowledged illegitimate son. Each of these children faced dramatic lives filled with power, tragedy, and the weight of their father's ambitions. Here's a look at their stories. Henry VIII's first son, Henry Fitzroy, was born in 1519 to Elizabeth Blount, one of the king's mistresses. Unlike other illegitimate children, Fitzroy was openly acknowledged by Henry, who proudly named him Fitzroy, meaning son of the king. At the time, Henry's marriage to Catherine of Aragon hadn't produced a male heir, and their only child was young Princess Mary. With no male heirs in the family, Fitzroy became a point of pride for Henry, showing the king's strength and ability to father sons. In 1525, Henry held an elaborate ceremony to grant Fitzroy the titles of Earl of Nottingham and Duke of Richmond and Somerset. Fitzroy was treated nearly like a prince, with noblemen and high-ranking officials attending the ceremony. Henry even provided Fitzroy with his own home, Durham House in London, emphasizing his high status. However, Fitzroy had a short life. He died at 17 in 1536, likely from tuberculosis, leaving no children. Edward VI was the only legitimate son of Henry VIII. He was the son born to his third wife, Jane Seymour. Edward became king at just 9 years old, taking the throne on February 20, 1547. He was the first English king raised as a Protestant. Because he was so young, Edward couldn't rule by himself. Instead, the country was run by a regency council that made decisions in his name. His uncle, Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, led the council at first. Somerset tried to continue the Protestant reforms Henry had started and worked on issues like poverty and fairness for the poor. But his leadership faced problems, and he eventually lost power. In 1550, John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, took over. Northumberland was strict and aimed to strengthen Protestantism even more, pushing England further from Catholic traditions. Edward's reign saw important changes in religion. Many Catholic practices were replaced, and Protestant beliefs became more common, especially in churches and worship. Edward himself was very committed to his faith and supported these changes, even though he was still young. Sadly, he never grew up to rule alone. Edward fell seriously ill and died in 1553 at just 15 years old. Mary, Henry's eldest daughter with Catherine of Aragon, became queen after Edward's death in 1553. Despite the 1544 Act of Succession, which had restored Mary and Elizabeth's rights to the throne, Edward VI named his Protestant cousin Lady Jane Grey as his successor. Lady Jane Grey, Northumberland's daughter-in-law and Henry VIII's great-niece, was proclaimed queen by Northumberland following Edward's death. However, Mary was determined to claim her rightful place. She quickly raised an army and rode to London, where she was welcomed by the people. Many supported Mary not only because of her rightful claim, but also because of their loyalty to Henry VIII's bloodline. Her arrival led to Lady Jane's swift removal from the throne, and Mary was declared queen. Once queen, Mary, a staunch Catholic, worked to reverse the Protestant changes introduced by her father and brother. She sought to bring England back to Catholicism, reinstating papal authority over the English Church. Mary married Philip II of Spain in an attempt to strengthen ties with Catholic Europe, but it was unpopular among her subjects, who feared Spanish influence over English affairs. Her efforts to restore Catholicism led to the persecution of Protestants, known as the Marian persecutions, during which hundreds were executed, earning her the nickname Bloody Mary. Despite her hopes for a Catholic heir, Mary's marriage was childless, and her health declined, leaving her without a successor. She died in 1558 after a 5-year reign, leaving England still divided religiously. With no heir, the throne passed to her half-sister, Elizabeth I. Elizabeth was Henry's daughter with his second wife, Anne Boleyn. She was a Protestant, and she firmly re-established Protestantism in England. Her rule, known as the Elizabethan era, was a period of stability, exploration, and cultural achievement. Elizabeth managed to keep peace between Protestant and Catholic factions by balancing religious policies that allowed some level of tolerance. Elizabeth never married or had children, which became known as the Virgin Queen legend. She skillfully used her single status to create alliances, often engaging in diplomatic courtships with foreign princes. Her reign brought about the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, a great victory that established England as a formidable naval power. Elizabeth's 45-year reign allowed the country to stabilize after the religious conflicts of previous decades. When she died in 1603 without an heir, the Tudor dynasty ended, and her cousin James VI of Scotland became James I of England, uniting the English and Scottish crowns. King Henry VIII was known to have several mistresses, and it's possible he had other illegitimate children who were never formally recognized. For example, there is speculation that Henry VIII might have been the father of Mary Boleyn's children, especially in the case of Henry Carey, but Henry VIII never publicly acknowledged them. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video or subscribe to our channel.